What's up YouTube, this is Bison79 guys, today I'm coming to my latest deck profile video for September 2020, and today guys we're going to be looking at my updated Blue Eyes deck profile. Blue Eyes, if you see my channel, you know damn well it's one of my favorite monsters in the entire game. I've always had a deck built around this, and I always come back to it to update it, tech in some new stuff, and basically make the deck work in my favor. And to be very honest, I'm loving this particular build right now. It can combo up very well, it can get you into your synchro plays, you can get you into your rank 8 plays, and it just does its job so well. So, without further ado, we're going to jump right into this. Coming at you first with the monsters, and of course, 3 copies of Blue Eyes White Dragon, the OG 3K beat stick. Can't get better than him in my opinion in this particular deck. You gotta run this guy at 3 because you just make the most out of having 3 copies of him in your deck. Level 8 for your level 9 and rank 8 exceeds plays, 3K attack so you can actually swing with it and do some serious damage. Just so worth it. 2 copies of Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon. Same stat line, so you can do some damage with it, but it also has that little effect where you can just pop off one of your opponent's cards they control, which is awesome. And it's a free body on the board as long as you get the OG Blue Eyes in your hand. You can go into your same rank 8 or level 9 synchro plays with him on the field, so definitely 2 copies is a must. 1 copy of Dragon Spirit of the White. On summon, banishes one of your opponent's spells and traps, and the opponent has more monsters on the field. During the battle phase, you can tribute him off, special summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand onto the field to get an additional attack, which is just awesome. Next up, 1 copy of Chaos Dragon Levianeer. Levianeer, very great card. Banishing 3 white attribute monsters can get you to use it as an extender, getting a monster back from your graveyard onto the field, which is always good. Using a mix of light and dark can pop 2 cards off the field, so you get that additional level of control aspect in this particular deck. So very, very awesome. And then of course we run 2 copies of Galactic Spiral Dragon. Spiral Dragon is just huge with the rank 8 plays. If this card's in your hand or the graveyard and you control 2 or more light or dark dragon type monsters on the field, you can special summon them from the hand or the grave. It also has the ability to basically modify all monsters you control to level 8, so you can just go into your rank 8 plays like crazy. Was trying to run this guy at 1, didn't really work out, wasn't seeing him at all. Pushed this guy up to 2, and all of a sudden it's just singing amazing. It's just such a great card. 2 is definitely the way to go in this particular build. And of course, we also have 1 copy of Red Eye Start to Smell Dragon. This is the new form with the errata where you can only special summon it once per turn, but hey, getting you that additional body on the board, utilizing its effect, whether it be from the hand or the grave, always worth it. And just to make sure you're able to access your Dark Attribute or any of your Dragon type monsters, we are running Ame Dragon Brotor. Unsummon, this card can target another itself or another card on your field, and then you can search your deck for a monster with the same type or an attribute. Target itself, you get your Dark Attribute Dragon monsters. Target one of the Light Attributes Dragon monsters. You get the idea. So definitely can access a lot. Next up, we got 3 copies of the White Stone of Ancients, my favorite card in this particular deck. Anytime it's sent to the graveyard during the end phase, you're getting an Blue Eyes monster from your deck to your graveyard, which is awesome. More bodies on the board can just help you build a board presence in general. And this card can also be banished from your graveyard to kick back a Blue Eyes monster back to your hand, which is always a good thing. 1 copy of the White Stone of Legend. This card hits the graveyard, you're searching your deck for a Blue Eyes White Dragon. This is awesome. And then of course we got 3 copies of the Sage with Eyes of Blue. Sage with Eyes of Blue on its normal summon can search you out any of your level 1 light tuner monsters, which is great. There's only 6 other targets in this deck for it to search. But its discard effect is really where it shines, because if you can combine this with maybe something like the Whitestone of Agents or even Whitestone Legend, you're going to be able to get additional cards into your hand or onto the board, which is just huge. And last but not least, we got 2 copies of Effect Veiler. Effect Veiler, discard this card, negate an opponent's monster's effect to the end of the turn, which is awesome. It's not a hard once per turn, so you can utilize both copies in one turn. You always want the interruptions to give your deck the best chance at stopping your opponent. For the field spells, I have 1 Dragon Ravine, 1 Mausoleum of the Light, and then of course 1 Terraforming. I went back with Mausoleum Light because the primary reason is because it gives you an additional normal summon of a level 1 Light tutor monster, which just helps out the deck with its synchro plays. With Dragon Ravine, you pitch a card to send a card from your deck to your graveyard, which is awesome. And Terraforming acts as additional copies of both of the field spells, which is just a great thing to have. 2 copies of Dragon Shrine. I like 2 copies of Dragon Shrine in this deck because it just helps the deck thin out so well. Send 1 Dragon type monster, and if it's a normal type monster in the graveyard, whether it be the OG Blue Eyes or Dragon Spirit of the White, you can send an additional Dragon type monster to the grave just to help set up your plays, whether you're trying to summon out Livianeer or setting up a Brotor or setting up a Galaxy Serpent. It just helps this deck get going, and definitely 2 copies is the way to go. 1 copy of Foolish Burial because, hey, what's 1 more monster in the graveyard to help you out? And of course, with all those monsters going to the graveyard, you need Monster Reborn to bring them back. 1 copy of 1 for 1. Pitch a high-level monster from your hand, special summon a low-level monster from your deck, which is just awesome. Get out Brotor to search, or you can turn around and get out Ancient. Whitestone of Agents to use with Sage. So, definitely always worth it. 3 copies of Return of the Dragon Lords. Bring back any level 8 Dragon type monster from your graveyard back onto the field. Always good. While this card is in the graveyard, and one of your Dragon type monsters will be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can always banish it to protect your monsters, which adds an extra layer of protection that the deck definitely needs. 1 copy of Silver Scry. Quick play spell to bring back 1 of your 4 normal monsters from the graveyard, whether it be the OG Blue Eyes or Dragon Spirit of the White. Very useful. Only 2 copies of the Melody of the Awakening Dragon. There's only 6 targets really to search in this deck, and I found that having 3 copies of this card bricks hard when you only have 6 targets. And running this card or 2 definitely gives me a little bit better options to be able to get into the materials that I need. So that's why there's only 2. But we are running a lot of level 8, so trading is a must at 3. Help you see more cards. And last but not least, to help augment FFL, 3 copies of Infinite Perm just for additional interruption factor for the deck. That's it for the main deck. 40 cards. On to the extra. 1 copy of Azure Eye Silver Dragon. Very awesome dragon. When this card is synchro summoned onto the field, that turn, none of your dragon monsters could be destroyed by a card effects, which is actually very awesome. And during your standby phases, you're getting a normal monster back from your graveyard, so you get that additional recursion of the OG Blue Eyes or even Dragon Spirit of White. So, always a good card to have. We got 2 copies of Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon. 2 is all you really need. This card can stop your opponent from special summoning multiple monsters in one go, which is always good. It can stop the activation of graveyard effects, and it can tribute itself off to bring out another light attribute dragon synchro monster from your extra deck onto the field, whether it be Azure Eyes or Stardust Spark Dragon. The only issue is that the monsters are destroyed during the end phase, but thankfully because of Azure Eyes effect and even Stardust Spark's effect, you won't be losing the resources. And not only that, but what you can do then is you can actually go into, use Stardust Spark, go into another level 9, which is going to be Cloud Castle. Cloud Castle will allow you to bring back your Blue Eye Spirit Dragon. You then can overlay and go into True King of all Calamities. Calamities, I think, is pretty self-explanatory. While it's in this deck, once it hits the field and you utilize this effect, you're basically shutting down your opponent and not allowing them to utilize monster effects. So it is definitely worth having, and since this effect lingers, your opponent's not going to be able to get around that effect for their turn. Very awesome control aspect. For the rank 8 plays, we got number 38, Hope Harbinger, Dragon Titan of the Galaxy. Negate opponent's spells to add more Xyz materials to it, and not only that, but you can detach materials to redirect attacks to itself. And since it's a 3k attack point body, it's definitely worth having. And then, of course, we do have the other Numeron package. Draglion and number 100 Numeron Dragon. Making Draglion can allow you to be able to get an additional Dragon type number monster from your Azure deck onto the field by equipping another Dragon type number monster to it. Draglion can actually get a Dragon type monster from your graveyard back onto your field, which is actually pretty awesome. And it can also shut down your opponent's Dragon type monster's effects, which is very huge since Boros Savage Dragon is technically a dragon. You can shut down this effect, which means no Omni negates. And then, of course, you have Numeron Dragon. Numeron Dragon, you get this guy out, it basically becomes very strong. By detaching a material, you're basically gaining the combined ranks of all the other monsters on the field, and you can actually make this guy pretty big. For your link plays, we got Romulus. On summon, you search out Dragon Ravine. Very important for the deck to help it get going. You also got Heraldic Seal of Heavenly Spheres. This card does amazing work. It's got a quick effect where you can basically tribute off this card to basically get a compulsory evacuation device effect, which is awesome. And also, if this card's ever tributed, you can actually special summon another Dragon type monster from your hand or your deck onto your field. Its attack and defense are bottom out to 0, but still, you can utilize those monsters' effects and be able to do things. So, definitely worth having in this deck. And of course, Dogmatica is out there, and we don't want them touching the extra deck. And if they do try to touch the extra deck, this is the package you want to run. Mist to pop the Maximus, Nova to get yourself an invoked Mechapot on the field, which is an additional negate by discarding cards out of your hand. Guys, that is it for my Blue Eyes White Dragon deck profile for September 2028. Guys, I do hope you enjoyed the deck build. I know I always love coming back to this deck time and time again. It always just gives me a great sense of joy just to update this deck and to see how we can actually play with this particular build. And if you liked this video, give this a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this on my channel, make sure to subscribe. We're trying to break 1,500 subs this month, so please get your friends to watch the videos and sub up. Notify by ringing the notification bell so you don't miss any uploads. Check out the description box below. Find the links to my affiliates, tcgplayer.com as well as sidedversus.com. Great resources for any Yu-Gi-Oh player. Follow me on social media. And if you guys want to help grow my community to even greater heights, the link to my Discord server is also in the description box. Join the conversation. We'll love to have you. As always, guys, until next time, peace.